So hello everybody again. Welcome back to my kitchen. My name's Siobhan Sweet, and today we're going to make one of my favourites as always, but my mum's favourite. We're going to make a lemon tart. Hi Phoebe, say hello when you come on Facebook. So we've got that out of the way. So we're going to make a quick sweet pastry. Now, lots of you made sweet pastry before, so I'm just going to quickly go through this. So I've just got some breadcrumbs here. I put those together. Okay, so that is flour, so it's 100 grams of flour and 50 grams of butter. Okay, then in here I've got 25 grams of sugar, okay, and half an egg. Now remember last time we did this, we talked about the reason why we don't just put the sugar in there straight away is because you're going to get little black spots on your pastry, so you don't want to just combine the sugar and the egg together. Hello Alan, Denise, around the corner, Julie. Nice to have you on, so just combine that together and put that in, and we're going to make a very quick sweet pastry. Put that over there. Bring that together. Okay. Oh, Rolo's here. Hello, Rolo. Yes, did you hear that little bit of flour and butter and you're thinking there might be something dropping on the floor? So just bring that together. Now normally you would rest this for about 20 minutes-ish, just so it gets nice and cool, but I'm going to work this straight away and show you. So I'm just bringing that together, and that is ready to roll. Now it's not a bread, remember, so I'm not kneading it. I might look like I'm doing it quite fast, but I'm actually gently just folding that over. And then I'm going to put a tiny bit of flour on the table, just spin it, not too much. Now, when I normally make lemon tart, I normally make this huge ring. It's huge, you can see that there. It's quite thick, but obviously I can't eat all that myself. Well, I probably could, but I won't do. So I'm going to do individual, but this is really nice. We're doing quite a nice deep one. So I'll talk about this when we're going through it, just so you can see. I need to go on a bike ride or something this afternoon, I tell you. It's not doing me good, these 3 lessons, cooking lessons a week. With no one else to eat it apart from me and Rolo, hey? Okay, so just gently give your pastry a knead. Now I'm going to use these little ones I've used before. They are really lovely, they're individuals, that's the size. It's probably about a 4-inch pan, that's what we call it. So just spin this round, okay? And as I'm rolling, I think the problem that people make when they work with sweet pastry, because it's quite a sticky one, is they just press really hard and they roll back and forth. Where if you just turn the pastry as you go, lightly roll it, turn it, lightly roll it. That way it's not going to stick to the table. And this is, you've seen it's so fresh. So you can work with anything. And I'm also not picking it up, I'm just sliding it round. So if you're going to do a ring this size, you would need a palette knife underneath your sweet pastry. So you just put it underneath. Don't try picking it up because it will rip. It's so fresh. You just use your palette knife, spin it round, another roll. Okay, so I like a nice thin pastry when we're doing these. So again, you would use your rolling pin if you're using a large ring and just roll it up on your rolling pin. Put that there. And just roll it across. Be careful not to touch the top because you'll cut the top of it. Okay, so then you're just going to lift the pastry up and just gently tease it into the corner. Now we've talked about a 90-degree corner, what that 90-degree angle on our tarts, especially lemon tarts. If you don't get the 90-degree corner and you're using one of these rings, it can burst out the bottom. I'll tell you a little trick what we can do to help you on that if you are using a bottomless ring. But I personally use these all the time, you can do. But if you want a bit of safety, you may use a ring with a bottom in it, just so the egg mix doesn't escape in the oven. The last thing you want to do is open the oven and the egg's all on the bottom, or the lemon tart mix is on the bottom of your oven. So I'm just quickly whizzing this round, making sure it's got that 90-degree corner before I trim the top of it off. And just use your rolling pin and spin that round. Okay, now obviously I can get 3 or 4 out of that. I'm not going to do those now. I'm just going to do a quick one just to show you. So, I don't know if you can see there, but I've gone right into the corner. You've got a nice 90-degree corner, and that's what you're looking for. If you don't, it's going to rip open once your mix goes in. So once you've done that, you're going to put baking beans in. Now, I always use a piece of cling film. Always use cling film. And people are horrified when I say that because they think it might melt. It won't melt, it won't. And then I've got the baking beans. And these are just old lentils, rice, anything, and I just keep them. I've had these for quite a long time. Now, the mistake people make is you don't fill the beans full enough. If you don't fill it full enough, your edges will fall in. So I always overfill with the beans, like that, and then that pastry's going nowhere. It can't shrink, it's stuck there. Okay. So we just get these edges and we just pull that together. And that's going to bake in the oven for 15 minutes, that little one, approximately. Okay. So I'm going to pop that one just in the oven. The oven's on 185 degrees, 185°C, for about 15 minutes. Okay, I've got 110 grams of sugar. Now I've done a small mixture on this, so I'll scale this right down. I'm going to put into it 3 eggs. And just blend that together. On the stove, I'll put that on now so it's ready. I've got a double cream. I've got 110 grams of double cream. I'm just going to bring that to the boil. Then I've got the lemons. So I'm using 1½ lemons. I've juiced them and I've zested them. So remember when we're doing the zest, we're going to just take the outside of the lemon off. Just the yellow bit. If you start going through to the white bit, it becomes very bitter. So that's really important. And I just go round as I'm doing it. So you don't get big long strands, okay? So I've done that already. And I've got rid of the pips, and we're going to pop that into here. And just stir that in with the zest. That's 1½ lemons. So I'm just bringing the double cream to the boil. And I'm going to add that to that. So while we're waiting for that double cream, I just want to talk about, I've got one earlier I prepared earlier for you, as I always do. Once that's like it's 15 minutes in there, it's going to come out and you're going to take the baking beans out of there. And what happens is it shrinks the cling film, so you can just pluck it out and take those out. But then you need to just give that another 3 minutes back into the oven, just to make sure, because this needs to be fully cooked, because all we're doing is setting this in the oven. We're not cooking it, we're going to set it. So that must be fully cooked. So back into the oven for another 3 minutes, and you can see, I'm just going to show you the colour of this one. It's a nice, you know, it's fully cooked, you can see the nice colour there. That cream's on its way now. Okay. Now, you might be tempted to try and use these again. Don't use them again, because what happens is they actually shrink. And then if you look at the side there, you can see that the edges aren't being held properly. So the edges of the pastry just fall in. So I just literally put those back in the pot and use a fresh piece of cling film on everyone. So put the cream into here. Always put hot liquid onto cold. Don't put those in there because you're going to scramble your eggs. So I'm not whisking, I'm stirring with a whisk. There's a difference. I'm just bringing that together. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that back into the hot pan. Now, this is where we need to be patient, because what we're going to do is not boil it. We mustn't boil it because it's got eggs in it. If it boils, you're going to end up with scrambled egg, and we don't want that. So I'm going to get my spatula, and I'm just going to try and cook this. So you'll see in a minute, just on the point of boiling, but not boiling. So where I'm waiting for that, and if you notice I'm stirring this, you can't take your eye off this. This is the only thing that you could possibly do wrong, but if you stand here and you're not talking to 2 cameras, then you'll be absolutely fine. Just bring that, it's starting to thicken already. Because I've got the cream nice and hot, it won't take long. What I've got ready already, and you have to have this ready, is a sieve. Just pass it. I'll bring it over to you in a minute so you can see. But it really is simple to do lemon tarts. You know, lots of desserts are simple when you know how, and it's just breaking it down into stages. Okay, this is on its way now, right. So if I scratch the bottom of this pan, you'll probably see on my spoon there, it's starting to thicken. Can you see? So just keep stirring it. That's telling me it's very, very nearly there. You might be able to see some steam coming off it. So some people put the raw mix that we made straight into here. Now I personally don't like that because it's going to take a lot longer in the oven to cook and you've got a higher chance of it boiling, which you don't want. So I like to do it this way. Right, that is ready. Okay, so I'm going to pass that just through there. And you can see on the bottom of that pan there, I put a line through it. Can you see how it's just cooked there? That's what you're looking for, just on the point of cooking. And just push that through. And that is your lovely lemon tart mix ready. Now, if you're using a big ring, then I did say I'm going to give you a little tip. I like to give my top tips. I haven't given you a top tip today yet, have I? Right, top tip today. This is a good top tip. Get an egg yolk. If you're doing the large one, you don't need to do it on the small ones. And then I will brush out with an egg yolk, brush that out. Pop it back in the oven for 1 minute. What happens then is the egg yolk will seal. So if you have any holes and you're not really good at lining things, then that will create a seal. So when you put the mix in, it's not going to burst open. So that's my top tip of the day. Now, what you want to do is fill these up as full as you can get them. And it needs to be near the oven. Don't be walking halfway around your kitchen because you'll wobble. And if the mix goes down the side, it's going to stick to the ring and you won't get it out. So that's about as full as I can get that. Now, oven temperature needs to be 160, no more. And what we're looking for is it sets like a jelly. Okay, so it's got a very slight wobble on it. That's probably going to take about 7 minutes, that's it. Not long, but you can touch a tray and it just wobble. So I cooked this early this morning. I'll just show you. So you can see a nice glazed lemon tart. Now, hi Siobhan, I've only got fluted tins, will these be okay? Yes, Mel, they're really nice with fluted tins, to be honest, really nice. I do tend to do fluted sometimes myself. So that's your lemon tart. Now, I've just made that probably 2 hours ago, so it's only just set in the fridge. I've got another top tip for you, to remember something else. If you don't cling film them, so once it's cold, you want to cling film them, preferably something above it, just because if you don't, it starts to sweat. By tomorrow morning, that'll be a little bit moist and watery, which is fine. But if you're going to glaze them with sugar and do a sugar glaze, it wouldn't work because you've got water there, you've got moisture. So if that happens, just get a little bit of a cloth, this isn't wet, this one, and just touch the top and pull it off. Okay, and that makes it nice and dry. So I'm going to blowtorch this one just to show you how we finish them. Now, again, some people use brown sugar. I don't like brown sugar because it gives a false caramelization. So I like to use white sugar and you get a nice caramel flavour to it. And you actually need quite a bit of sugar on this. In fact, I won't do it on the plate, I'll just do it on top here. Okay. So, are these healthy? You've got your 1 fruit a day in there, but the sugar content is quite high when you put the sugar glaze on top. So I want it quite thick. If it's too thin, it won't glaze very well. Okay, just evenly dust that around. Just take a tiny bit off there. Try and be a little bit health conscious. Okay, that'll do us. Now, blowtorch. If you haven't got a blowtorch, a grill is perfect. Just pop it under the grill. And I'm just going to blowtorch that. And it'll just caramelise. I'm not sure if you can see that there from where you are. Obviously be careful if you've got no paper or anything around. You're going to set on fire. That'll do us. And don't touch that directly. In about a minute's time, that'll set really firmly. So how I would finish that there, let me just show you the glaze on there. You see the shine. Okay. How I'd finish that now. Take it to one side. And I've just made a little bit of raspberry sauce this morning. I had some frozen raspberries. I boiled them up with a little bit of sugar. And that's it. Let's just see if that's... And then you may want to just put like a big dot. Not sure if you can see me there. We've got a little tiny seed there. And I've got some zest that we made. We made some sugar zest, didn't we? So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on top. Keep an eye on that in there. Already that's set firm. And that there is your lemon tart. How simple was that? Didn't take too long, did it? Someone's clapping there, I like those hands. Quite similar to a creme brulee. Similar to a creme brulee, Anthony. Yeah, it's the same cooking process. You must let it boil, but it's slightly different. In the creme brulee, I'd use egg yolks. This I'm using whole eggs. So good question, I like that question. So that's your lemon tart. Let me just check in the oven there. See, you won't be able to see this. It's not quite done, but if I shake the tray very, very gently, I'm looking for a wobble. That's it. Don't let it boil. If it boils, you've overcooked it. So keep an eye on that. That's probably going to be about under 4 minutes. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. But you can easily make those lemon tarts, all of you. Absolutely simple. And I will see you on Monday at 1 o'clock. I have no idea what I'm making. But thank you very much for joining me.